Right then, team, we're going to be language detectives. So in a moment you're going to see 3 versions of the same text from different times throughout history, and your job is to identify the different versions of the same word. So all will become clear. Let us have a look. So this is the first version of the text that you saw in our previous lesson, and I asked you to look at this and note down any words that you recognise that we use today. So you may have written down in last lesson's form the word on, so the preposition on, that's there a couple of times, 3 times. You may have written and, connective and. You may have written us, so the pronoun us. I think that's probably, rice. You probably would have got found rice in there. So this is Old English. Let's have a look at the Middle English and see if we recognise any more words. It's the same text, just years later. So same text, but hundreds of years later. This is the Middle English. Now we can see the word name. We can see come, to, be, as, in, and, breed, kingdom, spelt with a Y rather than an I, into, but, from. So there are more and more words that we recognise in modern English. The ones that we need, though, to understand, in order to understand this text, are not clear still. So we've got the connectives, we've got the pronouns, some of the prepositions and determiners, but the words that matter to help us understand what this text is actually saying to us, we're kind of missing those. So let's have a look at the next version. And here we are, the early modern English version. Exact same text. Sounds like this. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So you should recognise this as being a version of, it's the 1611 version of, what we know as the Lord's Prayer. So you are likely to have been exposed to the one that goes, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. We said that in school before. We used to read it, say it out loud before our assemblies when I was at school, when I was your age and younger. We read it out. We also used to read it at the end of term, so on the last day of term we'd all go in to the hall and read it aloud, speak it aloud. So that's what we've been looking at. It's the Lord's Prayer. Now our job, your job should I say, is you're going to look at these 3 versions. You've got them in a document on your classroom. Look at these 3 versions, and then you're going to find the word in the previous versions that means, for example, Father, or the word that used to be used for heaven, or the word that used to be used for bread. So that's what you're going to do. So in your classroom you have a copy of this table, which, as you can see, has 4 columns. On the left you've got your words that you're going to find in the old versions. So we've got Father, heaven, bread, evil, name, give, forgive, earth, and temptation. So your job in the first column is to go to the Old English version, so the very first version, and see if you can work out what was in that version. What was the word for Father? What was the word used for heaven? What was the word used for bread? And so on. Then when you've done that, you're going to do the same thing for the Middle English version, so the 1611 version. Find the word for father, find the word for heaven, and then do the same for the early modern English. Now, I'll give you a tip. The words are in, aren't they, as we've seen, the words are in roughly the same order. So it might be that you could start with early modern English, familiarise yourself with where the words are in relation to the beginning, middle, end of the extract, and then it might help you when you go back to Middle and Old English. For example, if you're looking for bread, you know that you don't want to look on the last sentence because it's somewhere near the middle, that word bread. So, and if you're looking for father, you would know that it was the second word in the Lord's Prayer, so our Father. So you would know where to look for that. So think about the modern Lord's Prayer and what you know in terms of the position of the words. So on your classroom, you have got these extracts, you have got the table. It's up to you. You can either fill in the table and then email that back to your teacher, or you can write it out on a piece of paper if you prefer. Draw out your table and then return that to your teacher via a photograph. Excellent. Good luck. It might seem simple, but it always takes longer than you think it's going to take. So enjoy, and we look forward to seeing your work. Thank you.